It's the opening night of the Ninja A-League. Happy new season, everyone. Wherever you may be watching, we kick off at one of the newest venues in the Ninja A-League, Ironbark Fields in the western suburbs of Melbourne. Western United taking on the Wellington Phoenix in this season opener. The pitch in absolutely perfect condition for this one, and beautiful weather in Melbourne this evening as well. So as we count down towards kickoff, let's take a look at the last time these two teams met. It was the 18th of February, round 17, towards the back end of last season. One of Chloe Lagazzo's last games before suffering a season-ending injury. She scored the opening goal, and that set Western United on their way to a 3-0 victory. Grace Ma, who we will see tonight, scoring direct from this corner. And Wellington Phoenix will be hoping that a new-look team fare far better than they did on their most recent trip to Melbourne. Western United not far away from coming down the tunnel and getting us underway. There they are, led by Chloe Lagazzo out of the tunnel. It is a massive weekend of the Ninja A-League. Don't forget that games continue tomorrow with the defending champion Sydney FC in Gosford to take on the Mariners, and then Canberra against Brisbane and Adelaide United against Melbourne Victory on your Saturday. And then Sunday, two matches on Sunday, Melbourne City against Perth Glory and the Newcastle Jets against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Make sure you jump on the A-League website for all the fixture details, and you'll be able to check out the Ninja A-League Pass as well. If you're 16 and under, you can get into the first 4 rounds for free with the Ninja A-League Pass. And speaking of youngsters, look at some of the smiles on the faces there of the mascots. They will be so excited to walk out onto the ground with their heroes to get the season underway. Annalie Longo, the veteran Kiwi international, is leading out the Wellington Phoenix. The match officials are in place, and everyone's just going to make up their wind-up in exactly the right position before the season gets underway. Always a pretty good feeling in Tarneit, this new venue which only opened towards the end of last season. Western United actually played a final here in the elimination game to end their campaign last season. They'll be hoping to turn this into a fortress, though. They actually haven't won here with their A-League women's team yet, so they would love to get off the mark with 3 points here tonight. They'll be wearing their home green and black stripes, and Wellington unmissable in their home kit of all yellow. Let's take a look at how the teams line up. A new season with plenty of new faces. And with Chloe Lincoln only just back from Matilda's duty, she has made the bench tonight, but Alyssa Daloste gets the start for Western United. New faces include the number 28 Colombian-American Isabel Dehakias, who does have NWSL experience. Otherwise, it is quite a familiar team to the one that ended last season. Watch out for the number 11 on the bench, the Colombian recruit, Sandra Ibarguen. Let's take a look at how Wellington line up. Paul Temple has certainly scoured the globe in order to find some new recruits, including goalkeeper Carolina Villau, the Portuguese under-23 international, Maya McCutcheon, the American midfielder as well. There is still a strong Kiwi core to this team. Mackenzie Barry scored at the Olympics, and she will be a rock at the centre of their defence. So as Wellington head over to the huddle, they will be hoping for a good result here tonight. The refereeing crew will be led by Georgia Ghirardello, standing second from the right. Assistants, you've got there Danielle Anderson and Jasmine Steger, and Molly Godsell holding the football there will be the 4th official. So all the procedures of a new season taking place. Looks as though Wellington have won the toss, and Annalie Longo seems happy enough to attack the right of screen in the first half. Great to see Chloe Lagazzo back. Of course, her season ended in injury the last 2 seasons, in fact, so she'll be hoping to play every game this campaign for Western United. There's a look at the setup in Tarneit, this venue which it may be open fields out the back, but we're expecting that to become a thriving suburban hub as they build around this football ground. Kat Smith is back for her first full season in charge. She took over relatively early in the campaign last season when Mark Torcaso left for the Philippines job. Of course, Kat with experience as an interim head coach of Melbourne Victory and the full coach of Western Sydney Wanderers. One last huddle for Western United. Looks as though Grace Maher is taking the team talk. There's Paul Temple. He's lost the locks this season. He used to go to the barber every week. This season, he's gone for the clean-shaven look. He's the first Wellington Phoenix coach to have consecutive seasons in the job, and great to see Amy Shepherd from Sydney University, his assistant coach, there on the bench. So it's time to kick off the new season, the Ninja A-League. So much we don't know, so many new faces, but it will be a couple of Western United's returning stars, Carly Johnson and Chloe Lagazzo, to get the new campaign underway. At last, the off-season is over. The Ninja A-League is back, and we are underway with Western United against the Wellington Phoenix. And I'm delighted to welcome to the broadcast former Matilda, Alicia Ferguson. Ish, happy new season.
Teo, we're back. And like you say, so many changes to all the squads and all the teams. So really interested to see how these two teams perform tonight. Obviously, Kat Smith, I think she's recruited very well in the off-season. And Paul Temple having, you know, to look to the youth in Wellington there. This will be an interesting battle. We
have to get to a little bit of the breaking news. No Sarah Egsvik in the Western United team tonight. A late return from international duty, meaning the Philippines player has not made the bench. And no Olivia Ferguson for Wellington tonight. They'll be hoping her absence doesn't stop them scoring goals, because out to the left flank immediately, Mania Elliott's pushing forward, and a tough tackle over at right back stops her making any further progress. That was promising for the Phoenix, though, with Longo on the ball. And now McCutcheon looking to play a pass through, and Western United just have to wake up in defence in the very first minute.
That's right, we're back in now. It looks like they may be setting up with a 3 at the back rather than a 4. Maybe that bit more flexibility, wanting to push high onto Wellington, which means that Wellington may have some space down those flanks to actually try and exploit Western United. But I'm really interested to see what Kat Smith is employing this season. She's now had, you know, most of the time to settle in, really want to get some silverware this year. They had some terrible injuries towards the end of last year. So I'm interested to see.
This is Alyssa Wynnum on the ball now. Wellington winning back possession in quite an advanced area, but that back pass is intercepted by Carly Johnson, who can reset at the centre of defence. Now the ball is pushed out to Catherine Zimmerman, who's only limited due to a foot injury last campaign, scored 2 in 5 right at the back end of the season, including in that elimination final. But speaking of goal scoring, no Olivia Ferguson for the Phoenix tonight. Just didn't make it in time, coming back from an injury in pre-season. So while she will carry a lot of the goal scoring hopes, we don't get to see the English forward tonight. And Maher is going to swing it across here. An early test for Carolina Villau, and that'll be a confidence booster for the Portuguese former under-23 international.
Yeah, did really well there, particularly with that sun. This is really difficult, that sun at that level. Half the pitch is in shadow, the other half with the sun right in the keeper's eyes.
Emma Main pushing through a pass, and on the underlap, Mania Elliott is starting to ask a few questions of this Western United defence. Wynnum dispossessed. The cutback was anticipated, and that pass dragged into midfield, not to the advantage of Johnson, and so away comes Annalie Longo. A chance for Wellington to reset at the centre of defence. A touch for Rebecca Lake and Mackenzie Barry. Tiana Jaber wearing the number 3 as part of this trio of quite tall, physical central defenders. And Jaber, the Sydney sider, is on the ball now. Western United just starting to edge forward here and think about a press. Paul Temple introduced small ball to the Ninja A-League last season. Short passing, lots of possession. We saw a long ball there, though. Give it away. Zimmerman. Happy to go back and reset it now. Listen to the shouting from the Wellington players as they press all the way up to Alyssa Daloste. And pressure on the ball here. Nearly lost to Alyssa Wynnum. And Daloste with a shallow clearance. It's going to bounce, and not quite to the advantage of Lagazzo. Over her head. And now a tangle in midfield. Lagazzo prevails. Is going to shoot from distance. And Villau able to bat it down. Perhaps inspired by Kyra Cooney-Cross during the week. And that would have been a nervous moment for Carolina Villau in goal.
It was great vision by Chloe Lagazzo there. Obviously, Villau wants to play a bit further forward, wants to be involved in the play for the Wellington Phoenix. Chloe Lagazzo, just a cheeky little look up. Didn't quite get it, but Villau did very well to recover from that.
So Western United's first shot in anger. Wellington looking promising when they're on the ball, building up, but the counter-attack seemingly Western United's friend in these early exchanges. Sasha Grove getting forward now, one of the new recruits from Canberra. The ball repels back out. Alyssa Wynnum looking to thread through a pass out to the left. Emma Main is off and running. Grace Jale wearing the number 7 in the middle. Main assesses the situation. Played the ball into the back of Kiwa Hieda. Jaber. Lots of space out on the right flank here, and a chance for Mebe Tanaka to swing it across. It clears all bar one. Manaia Elliott at the far post. Still Manaia Elliott. Pushed up into the box, but that's energetic play from Isabel DeHakis to win possession away. Now Grove, Lagazo. Western United trying to find a bit of rhythm, but Kiwa Hieda's pass was intercepted. It's been a pretty chaotic first 5 minutes.
Typical first game of the season. I think nerves come into play. You know, you want to really settle things down. Both teams looking to press quite high, put pressure on the opposition.
Elliott with an early ball, which is going to deflect. Wynnum got a touch. Gets into a duel here. And now back to Manaia Elliott. Attempted to drive a ball across the penalty area. Intercepted by Grace Maher and now pushed out to Zimmerman. Down the line and out for a Western United throw. Tiana Jaber, who went and linked up with the Lebanon national team. She's got Italian and Lebanese heritage and eager to try international football, is now committed to one of the countries of her origin. And as a player who previously played for Western Sydney Wanderers and the Newcastle Jets, and Western United, funnily enough, coming up against her most recent former team. She's one of the only Aussies in this Wellington lineup, although there are quite a few Kiwis that have dual citizenship hiding within the New Zealander ranks. Everything's just slowed down a little bit as we see a long throw here. Maher leans into the header. Zimmerman. Tanaka and Jale. Who's going to extract the ball? Grace Maher, now Longo. Down the line it runs, and a chance to backtrack here for Alana Cern.
You can really see how narrow Western United are when they don't have the ball, when they're trying to go forward in possession. Obviously trying to use their 2 wing-backs to push forward a little bit more, leaving 3 at the back, which does leave that space in behind. And we spoke about Wellington doing that short ball, but they played a couple of long passes in there, Teo, looking for that space in behind to exploit those channels down the right and left-hand side.
Ken Smith watching on as the throw-in was hunted immediately. Now Wellington look to build with Tanaka. The cross to Manaia Elliott. The first touch abandoned her, and it left a window of opportunity for Roach to get in and save the day.
Yeah, she was lucky there. I still think, you know, those far post balls are always on for the Wellington Phoenix.
Western United trying to go end-to-end in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, just that narrow formation from Western United. Once they get into a little bit of space, Roach at the back post, Grove at the back post. Sorry, that's Roach at the back post. Like a free player for Wellington Phoenix. Dangerous play there. I understand what they're trying to do. They want to get players forward. They want to commit players forward, taking that risk of having that 3 at the back. But Wellington already have, I think, marked their card and looking for those long balls into those channels.
Saw a big collision, but Georgia Ghirardelli, the referee, had a perfect view. Didn't even think to reach for the whistle. And so play continues. Wynnum slides a pass. Was Main offside? Doesn't matter, the ball is slid away. But again, the overload appearing on the left.
Yeah, there's definitely space down there, and Wellington really looking to exploit it.
Carly Johnson was the player that came off worse for wear here.
It did. Little forearm to the nose. That'll make your eyes water. Not nice in the first few minutes of the game. As we say, I think as both teams settle into this, I am interested to see Paul Temple with, you know, wanting to play that really short passing game, but seeing already that they're trying to exploit and plan a couple of long balls, and that makes Western United then maybe rethink and go, well, hang on a second here. Now we really have to make sure that our shape's nice and consistent.
Right on cue. There is a long ball from Jaber, which the chase is on. DeHaak is first to the ball, but Longo right there contesting.
You can even see Grace Maher on this left-hand side. She does push up, so Kat Smith wants those players, those wing backs, so it goes to a 3. It can turn into a 4 when you're defending, or even into a 5. But really, those wide positions really want to push forward.
Let's watch them in possession here, Western United, as Johnson Couldn't force a pass through. De Harkes. It's a duel every time a Western United player's on the ball at the moment. Phoenix really hunting possession. And Mackenzie Barry here is going to steady at the back. Jaber. Tanaka. Lake. That's a dangerous pass right into a cluster of Western United players, and Lakewell goes back and puts a boot in and allows the defence and midfield to get set behind the ball. So only a brief moment of panic, and that pass a little underhit on a lush surface and has been picked off. Longo. Main breaking down the left. Cern is guarding here against Emma Main. Promising run from Longo. Numbers in the middle for the Phoenix. If Longo can spin, finds not one of them. It just slid past Main. The follow-up from Elliott takes a deflection, and that will be the first corner of the game.
Well, they've spotted where they can exploit Western United down those flanks. There definitely is space. It's almost like this pendulum of if Sasha Grove pushes forward for Western United or Grace Maher pushes forward, and then there's those three centre-backs defending. But there is space on these wings, and they really need to tighten that up. Whether they stop the ball getting there in the first place or actually just keep one of those wing-backs a little bit further back to shore things up.
So a first corner. Meve Tanaka on corner duty. In-swinger right into the middle of the penalty area. And last touch was off the Phoenix. Maya McCutcheon heading it wide. Manair Elliott scored in just her second game back in October last year, but is still on the hunt for her second goal. It was excellent in a 3-0 win against the Western Sydney Wanderers when Wellington were up and flying. Of course, they were one of the early pace setters last season before a long run of away games perhaps took their toll, and they only just missed out on finals in the end. But they look promising here. McCutcheon keeps the ball moving. Acres of space here for Manair Elliott. Can she find a teammate with the cross? It's headed away by De Harkes. Grace Jale was waiting. Zimmerman a little bit proppy there after a collision. Tanaka now with all the room in the world. Who's on in the middle for Meve Tanaka? Western United sorted it out amongst themselves, but this is red alert stuff at the moment.
They're certainly being put under pressure. I think also when they do win possession back, Western United, they need to take more care with their passes and with keeping possession just to ease up a little bit of that pressure. But there's so much space down these wide areas as well, and I understand that they're keeping nice and compact in the middle.
Zimmerman seems to be moving all right. We saw a replay of that little knock just a moment ago, but she's immediately back in and challenging. It'd be good for Catherine Zimmerman just to feel a bit of confidence in the body. Here's Longo, the high press, winning the ball back for Wellington again. Jale keeps it moving. Wynnum, only a scoop shot in the end. Catching practice for Alyssa Dalosta.
Well, there's plenty of bodies in and around that 18-yard box. Didn't quite catch the ball to get enough power on it. But, I mean, even when there's players in the box for Western United, Wellington is still able to pick out their teammates in there, and I feel like Western United need to get closer to the opposition, get touch tight. They look like they're marking spaces at the moment without anyone actually going to mark players.
Here's another look at the shot from Wynnum.
I mean, there's so many Western United players in that 18-yard box, 6-yard box. Really, with the amount of Wellington Phoenix players, they shouldn't be able to get a shot on target.
Right now, Western United just need to break out of their defensive half. The Phoenix are winning possession back within a pass or two whenever Western United have the ball. Here's another test immediately. First head on the ball for Wellington. Hieda can't take possession, leaves it with Roach. And Wynnum is able to win it back for the Phoenix yet again. Wave after wave at the moment, but Tanaka's going to let the Western defence have a brief respite here. Lagazzo. Johnson was a little flat-footed, and Jaber came through with physicality.
Yeah, it was good defending by Jaber, just getting in front there. And they're the type of things, when you're under a bit of pressure for Western United, you really need your strikers to get in front of the defenders, be nice and strong, get those arms up and keep the ball and use that link-up play. At the moment, I don't think they're stringing enough passes together. They're not getting that consistency. They're giving it away too easily.
Wellington with Wynnum here. Once, and now will get a second chance. And she was being fouled by Roach. Got caught in a sandwich between two players.
I mean, Wellington Phoenix have 6 of their players in that area and forward of the ball. So clearly they do want to push on to Western United. They are putting pressure on them, and it's working at the moment. They're causing turnover after turnover, winning fouls as well. I think they've started this game really promisingly.
The Question is, can they turn it into a goal? How they would love a foothold in the game away from home. So a mid-range set piece, if not a long-range one here. Tanaka is going to drop it right at the edge of the penalty spot. A wall of green and black. McCutcheon with a shot blocked away. And now the ball repelled. Carly Johnson takes over. Immediately caught in possession. And has to turn back instead. Cern. The press goes all the way down to the keeper, but Daloste is able to elevate the ball. And it will tumble on here. Crowd making a bit of noise. They've recognised that Western United need a bit of support behind them. Wellington aren't playing like the away team at the moment. Here's Main. Into the middle it drifts. A bit of a mishit pass, but it's going to work out for Wynnum, who won it back. Into the middle for Tanaka! It's a goal on debut for Mebe Tanaka! And Wellington Phoenix get the reward for blitzing the first 15 minutes.
And it's well deserved. We've seen it time and time again. They get the ball into those wide areas. They've been getting crosses into the box. It's been difficult. Western United haven't been defending very well, and they've finally been rewarded for it. Another space out on the left-hand side, cut back in here. You know, not great defending, not a great clearance. Like, need to get rid of that ball. And just tucked it in on that right-hand side. Tanaka just putting it away. What a tap-in. So far too easy. I think Kat Smith will be really disappointed with that defending.
Assist number 1 of the season for Alyssa Wynnum, and Mebe Tanaka, the Japanese national who spent the winter playing in Melbourne for the Preston Lions, returns to Victoria and scores on her Ninja A-League debut. Look at the smile, that's what it means. He's got pro experience in both Japan and South Korea, and now has a goal in Australia.
Love that, great goal and debut.
Western United looking to hit back from kickoff. Lagazzo's in the long ball, and Western United are level! Straight from kickoff! Chloe Lagazzo squares the game away. And is that the heart starter for Western United? After falling behind, they are level in seconds.
Well, Chloe Lagazzo, she is their captain. They look to her for scoring goals, completely against the run of play. Wellington Phoenix, you know, it's so crucial that after you score a goal that you stay switched on. And within 20 or 30 seconds, they've conceded. It'll be really interesting to see how both teams maybe now settle down into this game. Obviously, Wellington Phoenix did deserve that lead. But look, one long ball in. Chloe Lagazzo had one go at it. Yeah, really calm finish from her. Maybe keeper could have held that, potentially could have held that, but well done, Chloe Lagazzo.
And so one Grace Marr swing of the left foot just undid the Phoenix defence. A great pass. Grace Marr can do that with a long-range ball, but the Phoenix defence, as you say, Ish, will be so frustrated that they've worked for the lead and given it up in less than a minute.
Yeah, that's it. And that changes the momentum of the game. And as I said, it'll be interesting to see whether this actually settles Western United down, even though Wellington Phoenix still pushing those numbers forward. So many numbers forward.
And the shot here from Elliott, almost a scuff. Maybe a little excited. They had an overload going.
They've had lots of overload. They're really putting the pressure on Western United. They're committing players forward. Chloe Lagazzo just trying to open up, maybe trying to go to the far post there. You know, keeper potentially could have done better, but then she can just tuck that away.
By the way, that is now 4 games in a row Chloe Lagazzo has scored, even though her season ended in injury last campaign. She scored in her last 3 games before suffering that injury, so she's on a scoring streak. It's a good feeling at the start of a new season. That touch she'd love to have again, but able to extract the ball and shuffle it out to the left. Not even at the quarter of the way through the opening game of the season. Oh, it feels like the Ninja A-League is back, Ish. It really does now.
Pre-season's over. We're back in, Teo. We're back in. We've had quite a frantic start. What are we, 18 minutes in now? I think I would like to see both teams just start settling it down. I think Wellington have done really well committing players forward, really putting pressure on Western United, expecting that United were going to put pressure on them and press quite high up the pitch. Advantage
given. It was a crunching tackle by Longo. Carly Johnson's away down the left. The cutback is on! And it's 2-1 to Western. Amy Medwin! It's a first ever Ninja A-League goal for Amy Medwin. And Western United have turned around the deficit in the blink of an eye.
Talk about that momentum, how it shifts. The Knicks will be so frustrated with themselves for conceding that first goal with Chloe Lagazzo, then giving the ball away. Square ball into midfield here. There's 2 passes. Defence is all over the place. They've still got 2, 3, 5 players there. But able to pick out Medwin. And just for a tap in, some questionable defending from the Knicks there. I think they'll be very disappointed in that.
What an exciting moment for Medwin. Great to see a Tasmanian player on the score sheet in the Ninja A-League. She came back after an ACL last season in February, played 8 games at the end of the campaign, and now with a full winter under her belt, that second season back after returning from an ACL, maybe we're about to see a career year from the 25-year-old Amy Medwin.
Yeah, and it was well spotted. Carly Johnson just playing that ball in there, but for the Knicks, there was far too many. There was players running with their running back towards goal. There was plenty of players there, but no one actually picking up Wyndham on the in the box. Sorry, Medwin in the box, but I mean, what a frantic game for this day. 2-1 already, 20 minutes in. I think both teams, the Knicks had a little huddle just before they went to kick off again. I think everyone just needs to take a big deep breath, calm themselves down, and try and get a little bit of composure.
Well, Western United just want to keep rolling downhill here and try to strike while the Phoenix heads are still spinning. Tanaka, the goal scorer. It feels like a while ago. It was 6 minutes ago, and all of a sudden they're behind. Tanaka, look at the space for Wellington here. Oh, Longo left the ball behind. Just when it looked like they had the Western United defence back on their heels. Elliott does well to keep possession. Tried to flick it through it, took a deflection, but Main will keep the attack going. Back to Longo. Clever from Main. Longo in space. Numbers to aim for in the box at the near post. Manair Elliott was there. And Alana Cern is saying it's a goal kick. I don't think the referee agrees. It's going to be a corner for the Wellington Phoenix.
And Alana Cern did well there to cover that, but Alyssa Wynnum was actually free in the box again. If that ball actually got cut back, it would have been another tap-in for a goal. So there's definitely some organisational things, whether you're actually going to defend the space or actually go to the player. I think they need to have a look and actually go in and mark the players rather than the space.
Well, it's a zonal setup in the 6-yard box because there's almost no one to aim for. Here come the late runners. Lake with a deflection away. Well defended on that occasion by Cern. And now Johnson, 1 assist to her name already. Stopped by McCutcheon. Maya McCutcheon on the books of the North Carolina Courage, but didn't actually get an appearance for them. Played in college at Oklahoma and also West Virginia, a couple of the top Division I schools. Grossmar takes the throw. Zimmerman trying to escape. Jaber backtracking in earnest. Zimmerman holds her off. Cuts back in. Zimmerman conjures a pass. It was Medwin waiting at the far post unmarked again. Ball just didn't get there. Roach, oh, it's hit the referee. And that means it's going to be a drop ball, and you can see the frustration for Emily Roach.
Yeah, she wanted to get on with it quickly, didn't she? Put the ball on the deck, wanted to play on.
Well, the Phoenix, I'm not totally sure why it's their ball. Carolina Villar doesn't care. She just wants to boot it away. Main with a header down. Jale. Now Wynnum. It's Alyssa Wynnum. Knew that Manair Elliott was making the run. Elliott with the shot. And even though it caught a deflection, Alyssa Daloste was well positioned. There are the fans. One thing I love about Western United, everyone wears merch when they go out to Tarneet. Green and black everywhere. And this is a club that's on the rise. They're trying to grow. And hopefully the crowds will keep coming.
Absolutely. They're investing in the facilities. I mean, the pitch looks in perfect condition. The players are now all based there. It's a more professional setup, which makes a huge difference to the players' welfare, but also just their understanding of what it takes to be a professional footballer.
Wynnum against Ma. Tanaka comes in to help out. Tahakis pops it over the top. Longo. Now a long ball to clear. Rebecca Lake backtracking. Villau calling for the pass. And with Western United standing off, everyone gets a chance to just take a breath. Barry is going to engage the midfield now. Tried to play a longer pass, but it's come unstuck. Intercepted by Kiwahieda. Look at the Western United numbers running through the middle of the pitch. Roach squares it. Johnson's touch. And it tumbles into the grateful gloves of Villau.
I mean, I thought they were going to score there, Teo, and I think they actually should have scored there, but another one of those straight balls into midfield from the Wellington Phoenix that have gotten him into trouble a couple of times.
And now, slingshot down the other end. Longo finds Manaia Elliott. Elliott back to Longo, and the first touch wasn't there. It was maybe a little bit slick, the pass.
I mean, we talk about transitional football. We're kind of end-to-end here at the moment. Be good to see just one team maybe just put their foot on it, try and slow down the tempo. It's great to have possession, but the turnover of possession end-to-end, it'd be nice just to put your foot on the ball, contain the tempo, control the tempo, and keep a bit more possession.
Hieda. Ball given away. Wynnum. Immediately won back by Roach. Into a contest. A duel occurs and McCutcheon wins the ball. Tanaka pushes it on to Wynnum. Wynnum will keep it moving. Elliott, first time shot, scooped it over.
Time and time again, down that left-hand side, there's so much space. Sasha Grove is almost playing like, I mean, when they do have three at the back, almost like an inverted fullback. She's coming quite narrow, which is allowing the Knicks to play down on that left-hand side. Probably not getting forward as much as she likes. Sasha Grove, wonderful player. I mean, here, you know, left-hand side, probably could have a touch with that as well. Make sure you get that shot on target. Just leaning back, technique not great, ball goes over.
Daloste going for distance. The ball almost to the halfway line. McCutcheon, Dahakis. Zimmerman's off and chasing. Jaber in a foot race. And the defender won out in the end. Finds the safety of touch. What do you think Paul Temple's shouting from his technical area at the moment after the dominance his team was building in the first 15 minutes has definitely dissipated?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, look, they're continuing to win the ball back. They're transitioning so quickly and there's so much space on either side of the flanks.
Yeah, this might be a reverse jinx right here. Main on the right. Oh, and the cross. It's going to dip late onto the roof of the net. Not sure if that was the intention to turn it into a cross shot.
Yeah, need better quality on that. There was plenty of space there. There was plenty of time for Main to, you know, could have another touch. She could have had another 2 touches there before she played that in. Just roll it on the deck along that 6-yard box makes it very difficult to defend.
Emma Main scored a double in the final game of last season for the Phoenix, which was a win against the Western Sydney Wanderers. As the ball slides out here. Main, another Kiwi who went to college, but since come back and spent a season and change at Wellington. 5 goals in 20 appearances, which is a pretty good return for a midfielder, but she seems to be playing a pretty advanced role in this game. Both teams want the throw, but it's Western United who get the nod. Lagazzo, Zimmerman ran straight into a block from Jaber. Johnson and Ma from the throw. Bit of an aimless pass. It is going to bend out slowly, slowly. Or is it? It was heading for the corner flag there, and it just had enough on it to roll out for a goal kick.
Yep, just shows how good the pitch is, Teo, when it rolls up. But continues on. I mean, shape here of Wellington Phoenix. There's a lot of Western United players. This is where they need to be careful. They played a few of those straight passes into midfield and given the ball away.
Main's header. Chris Jale. Back to Main. Great physical play from Jale, and now sends Main down the right. The cross is just going to require Longo, and now Elliott to backtrack. But from the edge of the box, Longo curls it in. Defensive header to the edge of the box. And away with Carly Johnson. He's got her hands full with McCutcheon, though, and didn't want to let her past. The referee's whistle is going to give Western United a foul.
Yeah, strong challenge there from McCutcheon. And we were talking, you asked before, Teo, about what Paul Temple will be calling out. You know, he's changed up the approach to this game. A lot of the time, they're actually trying to break out of the first line of pressure from Western United. They're playing those longer balls, which is catching them out. United do want to get up, they do want to press, but they're actually breaking out of that pressure with one pass where the space is.
Long free kick here. Lake's header. Bit of a grapple going on between McCutcheon and Lagazzo. The ball ends up with Zimmerman in the meantime, and that pass, too much on it for Carly Johnson to go and run it down. Carolina Villau, who didn't get much game time in the league for Benfica in Portugal, but did get some UEFA Women's Champions League experience. Like so many goalkeepers, looking to a league like the Ninja A-League for the chance to get the #1 gloves and build a nice folio of work.
Yeah, it's definitely been common, hasn't it, over the last couple of seasons, international goalkeepers.
Jaber's pass, inviting the pressure on. Lagazzo, waiting for runners to get forward. Here's the most recent scorer in Medwin. Could it be 2 for the Knights? Just wide. And it hits the apparatus behind the net rather than the back of it.
And once again, that attempted pass straight into midfield gets cut out by Western United. They transition quickly and create a goal-scoring opportunity. Just going for the near post there, Medwin. I think Bilal had that covered, but I think Paul Temple, that'll be something that he'll want to tidy up from those players. If you are playing out, need to take more care with those passes. I think that's 3 I've counted already, Teo, that they've played those straight passes into midfield that have been cut out.
Now Barry, well, that might be 4 because it's been intercepted and picked off again, and this time returned with interest. Hieda. Barry trying to make amends out on the flank, has the help of Tanaka. Cuts it into Wynnum, starting deep in midfield here, Alyssa Wynnum, but we know the Phoenix can move. Longo and Wynnum. Jale tried to unleash a crossfield ball, but it was a little shallow. Longo being held, and the referee right on the scene. Free kick taken quickly. Out it goes to the left. Tanaka. 1 goal already. Ducking and weaving, and it ends up on the roof of the net after a deflection.
Yeah, plenty of space down that left-hand side. I like that the Knicks want to continue the game. They want to keep it going quickly. Took that free kick nice and quick. They've always got plenty of players forward. There's 5 or 6 players in front of the ball most times when they're transitioning from defence to attack.
So another corner. They do have quite a tall team, Wellington. Barry, Lake, McCutcheon. Plenty of targets to aim for at a set piece for Mebe Tanaka. A really high raking ball, and it was aiming for one of the more diminutive players in Longo. Cleared away, not decisively by any means. Elliott battling. Now Grace Maher. And that clearance will bend down towards the Phoenix dugout.
I mean, if I'm Western United here, I'm actually not going to put pressure on the Knicks at the back there. Just let them play. Let them play. Get you to say they've got really good structure here. 2, 4, 5 players in midfield. You know, every time when they're actually not under pressure and they're giving the ball away from that. And I think Western United have done well there. Don't go and pressure the ball. Just let them make the mistake. I think it's when that unstructured players when they're really susceptible. Western United, when they turn over possession and then the Knicks transition quickly.
So they'll want to show composure here from the last line of defence. Daloste. Wellington sensing the chance to go and hunt the ball, and indeed it deflects off Grove. Straight to Tanaka, and now Wynnum. Jale just a step behind Grace Maher. Chance to reset and try again here for Western United, deep in their defence. And again, possession given away. Wynnum loses out to Hieda. You see they're jumping the pass. Mackenzie Barry came through. Now Tanaka. Jaber. Menai Elliott has switched flanks with Mebe Tanaka, the 2 wingers. So it's now Elliott in the number 11 shirt over on the right, and Tanaka, the number 14, over on the left. And the ball over the top here is going to ask Mebe Tanaka to go and run onto it, and she does. Barry. Ball sits up at the edge of the box. Lagazzo knocked it on to no one in particular. Jaber. Elliott finding space wherever she roams. Jags in here. Mania Elliott showing us what the left foot can do. It landed at the penalty spot and cleared away. A more patient, slightly less hectic build-up here from the Wellington Phoenix. Can they find the right pass going into the penalty area, though? Tanaka again. Wynnum. Ducking and weaving, Alyssa Wynnum. Looks up here against Roach. And is going to get the corner. Western United were appealing for a goal kick, but Alyssa Wynnum has earned another set piece. She's
been lively, hasn't she, Alyssa Wynnum? I know she was working really hard in the off-season, wanted to get more minutes in the game, wanted to get more shots on goal, improve the shot-to-goal ratio, but she's been busy up there. She's been working really hard, closing the ball down. She's kind of been all across that front third. She's been on the left through the centre as well. Did really well just to try and stand up Western United defender and take them on.
So they've had a host of corners. What does that hand signal mean? The crossed arms. Tanaka puts it right on the edge of the 6-yard box. Huge pack of players that it fell onto. Longo. Header slides on. Zimmerman. And Wynnum is going to be happy to keep the ball in.
Can hear the call, just try and squeeze on that side, keep them in that side, try and lock them in on the left-hand side so they don't switch the ball out and exploit the space on this right-hand flank.
Cern with the clearance, a little bit awkward because it reared up on the surface for Lake, and now she's got her hands full with Carly Johnson, and the referee's given a foul.
Yep, how quickly it turns. Needs to get the challenge in there. I mean, there was another 3 or 4 Knicks players around Carly Johnson. Probably a bit of more frustration than anything from Lake there, just lunging in.
Carly Johnson, who made her debut for Sydney FC in the 21-22 season, but is now back for a 3rd campaign with Western United, still only 20 years of age. And we've got the trainer called for here because Rebecca Lake, whose season ended with a knee injury last campaign, appears to have an issue here. Hopefully it's not that same knee. Is in discussion with the physio and the doctor at the moment on the Phoenix bench. They've got Zoe McMeekin, a defender who could potentially come on, or Lara Wall to make her Ninja A-League debut.
I mean, after that slide tackle, she got up and ran back. Maybe there was another collision further up. Doesn't appear to be holding any part of her body, whether it was like a head collision and she's feeling a bit dizzy. Got the doctor on there as well as the physio.
I think that might be a good shout, Ish.
Potentially, maybe from the corner.
Lake, 25 years old, playing her 18th Liberty A-League game. There's the substitutes warming up for the Wellington Phoenix. Daisy Brazendale amongst them, Lara Wall. Although they'll be hoping that Lake can continue here because the Phoenix, even though they're behind on the score sheet, are continuing to create.
Yeah, I guess maybe they'll have a little assessment. She looks okay. I mean, there's such strict concussion protocols now. You know, no risk taking at all. But she's still on the sideline. She looks ready to come back into the game.
In the meantime, the free kick fell kindly.
Stop side though. Referee probably made a yard or so.
On it, and it's yes, it's there, off the underside of the bar. Carly Johnson on the end of Zimmerman's cross. Phoenix, their own worst enemy, and Western United, after going behind in this first half, have gone bang, bang, and bang again, 3-1.
How quickly the momentum changes. Wellington Phoenix were all over Western United to start this game. Yet again, a ball into straight into midfield. Chloe Lagazzo's on hand there, a bit of a deflection. Zimmerman did really well, got a head up, had a little look, great ball into the box. Some questionable defending from the Knicks defenders, though. I think they'll be really frustrated about that. You know, potentially Lake still feeling the effects of a potential head knock, but time and time again, Paul Temple will be so frustrated how many times they've given that ball away from those central positions, playing it straight into midfield.
It's a 6th career goal for Carly Johnson. And yes, I need to apologise because it was 11 versus 11. Lake had got back on for that phase of play. There might be more on the way. Can Western United make it a 4th? The cutback. Lagazzo blocked it, looping high. Oh, a mix-up between the defenders. And it falls on the line. It's in eventually. It is a goal. Absolute carnage in the Phoenix defence.
Well, there might be some questions here. I think the referee might just be... No, it looks like they've given the goal. There was a lot going on there, Teo, wasn't there? Deflections, ball across. Whether there was any infringement on Bilal, any contact as well.
The goal stands. The question is, whose goal is it? It was a mix-up seemingly between Jaber and Villau. Let's try and diagnose exactly what happened. Lagazzo shot initially. Goalkeeper and defender not on the same wavelength. It's almost over the line there. If it wasn't at Zimmerman's goal, good luck sorting that out.
Look, I think Villau actually, she was waiting for the ball to come down and hit her. I know Jaber was trying to get to the ball, but rather than jumping up and putting her hands above her head and trying to collect the ball, Villau actually waited for it to come to her.
Can Phoenix hit back here? They're 4-1 down, would you believe? Oh, the cutback misses everyone. It was teasing. To be honest, if they can get a second goal back before half-time, you wouldn't rule out a comeback here. It's been that sort of a game.
Well, it's just been a bit of a seesaw affair, hasn't it, Teo? I mean, I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest. Definitely, the Knicks will be, I think, very disappointed the way they've conceded these goals. After having such a strong start, having the majority of the possession, creating opportunities, getting those balls into wide areas, putting the balls into the box, and to have conceded those, what you would say were soft goals. And from your own mistakes as well, that's so frustrating. You can take it if the other team has fantastic play and plays around you and deserves a goal, but really they've been their own worst enemy.
So for the second time in the half, it's 2 goals in quick succession, giving us this extraordinary scoreline. It looks as though Zimmerman's been credited with the goal, so it was on the line and it did need that last little touch from Zimmerman. So she opens her account for the new season, and it is 4-1. Lake, long ball, Phoenix with Main deflecting off the head and out. Still 3 minutes to go, plus stoppage in this first half. It's been breathless stuff.
It's been, what a start to the Ninja A-League women. I mean, 5 goals in one half. Doesn't get any more entertaining than that.
And perhaps wisely, Grace Marge is taking the time to slow everything down. The throw in here. Ball over the top from Barry. It's going to sit up on the line and just tail out. McCutcheon. Looks as though Maya McCutcheon might have been moved into defence here for the Wellington Phoenix in these final minutes of the half. And it still isn't going to stop Western United. Or is it? It is, on this occasion at least. Hieda had a run on, but McCutcheon makes the tackle.
Yeah, crucial for the Knicks to just consolidate, stay nice and tight. You don't want to concede. You don't want to go into half-time 5-1 down. That's a long journey back, particularly the way you've conceded.
Grove blocked and out for a throw. Johnson. So McCutcheon here. Passing out from this area of the pitch has been Phoenix's pain point in this first half. Jaber. Now Lake. Hard against the line. Elliott did well to keep it in. Grace Maher. Well, the assistant referee's flagging. Foul given. What do you think Paul Temple's halftime team talk might be, H?
Oof. That's an interesting one, Teo. I think it's just, I mean, it's tidying up. You're, you know, doing the simple things. Also, I think they started going away from actually playing those balls into the channels, actually breaking out of that Western United pressure. And as soon as they started trying to play those short balls into midfield, they were giving them away and they were getting punished. And I think it's going back to the original game plan of actually just breaking out of that pressure. There's so much space on either side, on the right-hand side and left-hand side, and they were getting success there. And they just went away from that.
Lagazo saw the chance to play Zimmerman, but Zimmerman perhaps was running towards the ball rather than towards the direction of the pass. Only one additional minute at the end of the half. We had a brief stoppage when Rebecca Lake was talking to the doctor and the physio, but nothing else is going to be tagged on at the end of a 5-goal first half. McCutcheon sends the ball to the left. Barry. Scooped pass onto the head of Hieda. Now Tanaka. I've got some bad news for Mebe Tanaka. Her goal is going to go down as a Sasha Grove own goal. So the Phoenix, their one goal for the moment has been classified as an own goal. And as the halftime whistle goes, what an introduction to the new Ninja A-League season. Wellington Phoenix took the lead. Western United were in front within just 5 minutes. And then in 2 more second half minutes, were able to extend out to a 4-1 lead. This game could go in any direction from here, though. The Phoenix kept attacking and kept creating. And perhaps halftime is the break they need to recalibrate and find a way back. Because for now, it is Western United 4, Wellington Phoenix 1. Ish Ferguson, what an extraordinary beginning to the new Ninja A-League season.
Welcome back to all the fans. We've had an absolute cracker of a first half, really end-to-end stuff. The Knicks started off the better team, getting into wide areas, creating all sorts of problems. Lovely ball in from Wynnum here, causing Sasha Grove to knock that ball into her own net. We thought it was Tanaka to begin with. Lovely ball across that 6-yard box. They're so difficult to defend.
And so that was Wellington in front, but from kickoff, Grace Maher's long ball and Chloe Lagazo, first shot drew the save, second shot found the back of the net.
Yeah, just switched off. The Knicks just switched off, had just scored a goal from the kickoff. Grace Maher, lovely left foot, plenty of space there. Ball in behind. Bilal potentially, you know, knocked that ball back into Chloe Lagazo's path, gave her a second bite at it, and she put it away.
And just seconds later, it was Carly Johnson to an unmarked Amy Medwin, her first goal in the the Ninja A-League.
There was 4 or 5 Knicks players in the box there and no one picking up Medwin, and they're the type of things that Paul Temple really want them to tidy up in the second half. Again, defensively, not goal side. Zimmerman, nice little cut back here. Lake just on the wrong side of Johnson, and she's able to put that away.
And so Carly Johnson off the mark, and then Catherine Zimmerman, who had that assist. And this is freeze frame stuff, trying to work out exactly where the ball went over the line, but just chaotic defending and goalkeeping, and it's not in at that point, so Zimmerman gets the easiest tap in of her career.
Yeah, mistake by Villau and Jaber there. We really should have collected that ball. I mean, look at the stats. Wellington Phoenix, 65% possession in one of those games where they were creating chances, they should have put them away. Western United have just hung in there, haven't they? That resilience, but Wellington Phoenix have not done themselves any favours, giving the ball away in midfield spaces, and Western United have capitalised on it.
56% passing accuracy, and yet they've found the back of the net 4 times. Perhaps speaks to how Wellington have made their job a little bit easier. Absolutely,
and the Knicks will be so disappointed with that first half, with all those statistics and just the way the game was played out. Conceding 4 goals, Paul Temple will not be happy with that.
So if you're enjoying the action in the Ninja A-League, don't forget you can get the Ninja A-League Pass. If you're 16 and under, it's your chance to get to the first 4 rounds of the season for free. If you sign up your kids, sign up your nieces and nephews, sign up your young friends, because this is a great chance to get in at the start of the season, the first 4 rounds. Head to the A-League's website, the Ninja A-League Pass. Of course, terms and conditions do apply, but you can see it all on the A-League's website, and that is very exciting. All right, we are looking forward to what's happening on Saturday and Sunday. Of course, we've got a massive weekend, 6 games a weekend at the moment. Central Coast against Sydney kicks it all off in Gosford tomorrow. Canberra against Brisbane Roar, and then Adelaide United against Melbourne Victory. Your Sunday ticket is Melbourne City against Perth Glory, and the Newcastle Jets taking on the Western Sydney Wanderers. Let's take a look at the Perth Glory, though. They have the premiers, Melbourne City, a tough away trip to Melbourne. Let's hear from a couple of their key people at the start of the new season, starting with their new incoming coach, Stephen Peters.
Everyone's pretty excited. Yeah, there's an air of optimism. Yeah, we're looking forward to Melbourne. City's a formidable opponent. We're looking forward to that challenge. We've had an opportunity to obviously look at them with their AFC duties, so that's a bonus for us. And they're a good side. So yeah, no, we're looking forward to it. It's going to give us a real good indication of where we're at, and I think it's a great starting platform for us.
Stephen Peters there, the new coach of the Perth Glory, and it is going to be a pretty tough start to the season for the Glory for one big reason. They've actually got a few injuries already at the beginning of the campaign. They announced today that Morgan Roberts is coming in as an injury replacement for Susan Fonsong-Cam, who's going to be out for 3 to 4 months. It's not the way you want to start a new season. You've got a new coach, new look squad, everyone in, and then injuries hit as part of your pre-season. So away to Melbourne City, there probably isn't a much more tricky challenge than that.
It's tough, isn't it? That's it. You want everyone fit and healthy at the start of the season. I think Susan Fonsong-Cam, actually her being out, you know, she's a wonderful player for the Glory. Being out for 3 or 4 months is going to be a huge loss to them. But, you know, tough start. City, we know what they're like. They have a really particular style of play. They've been very successful. They demand success. They demand results as well. So big ask for Perth Glory.
And the Perth Glory captain, co-captain for the new season, succeeding Tash Rigby, is Isabel Dalton. Let's hear from her now as she talks about her team's prospects for the new campaign.
There's a lot of young players that have come through. But I think for the few of us that have stuck around from last year, I think it's just about taking what we know about the club and what we want the culture to look like, and I guess addressing that with the players, and really just creating something special at the club. And I think the few players that did come back, I think we've been able to do that. And I guess for me personally, it's just about bringing my experience and sharing that with the group. We've been able to play a couple of pre-season friendlies against different teams, so I think just about finding those connections and working out who plays well together, and I think we've been able to do that. So I'm pretty happy in the midfield, and yeah, I think we'll have some good connections.
That's Izzy Dalton there, the new co-captain of the Perth Glory. Ish, let's just have a quick word about that game, because Melbourne City finished runners-up in last season's grand final. They hosted it, but they were defeated 1-0 at home. Dario Vidic left the club to go to an opportunity with Brighton in the WSL, where yeah, his career is often flying, but the team he left behind, Melbourne City, a lot of familiar faces, new coach Michael Matriciani, still a strong squad, and of course Wellington Phoenix fans watching today will know that Mariana Speckmeyer is one of the big signings of their off-season. Is it as simple for Melbourne City of, you know, no excuses, go one step better than last season? It's very hard. You don't start in the grand final and go one step better. You still have to win your way there. You still have to go on the journey, don't you?
That's it. But Melbourne City are a club that they have quality, they have that specific style of play, and they expect to win. And they expect success, you know, and they've built that over the course of numerous seasons. I think the familiarity with the players and the way they are playing, you know, every other team in the league knows how Melbourne City play. I think last year what they sometimes struggled with was actually being more clinical in front of goal, and that was an area they had so much possession. We saw them always with that build-up play, bossing the possession statistics, but sometimes just being a little bit wasteful in front of goal.
And of course, a new-look Perth team will be their opponent in round 1. All right, so let's move on now and have a quick look at what is coming up in just a few weeks' time. All roads lead to Sydney. Sydney will host the A-League 2024 Unite round over 3 days in November with the 14 clubs from the Isuzu Ute A-League and the 12 clubs of the Ninja A-League coming together to compete. Let's find out a bit more.
If you haven't already, make sure to mark these dates in your diary. The 22nd to the 24th of November, it is Unite Round returning to the A-Leagues. Ninja A-League playing out of Leichhardt Oval, the Isuzu A-League out of Allianz Stadium. Tommy Orr, 2 venues, 14 clubs, 1 city. It promises to be an absolute football feast for A-Leagues fans.
Absolutely, and fans very much at the forefront of this weekend, and it's exciting to have so many exciting games and so many football friends from around the country and New Zealand, of course, all in one city, and the family atmosphere and the things going on around the games. I feel like there'll be a lot of excitement, so a lot to look forward to for A-League fans.
There's going to be legends on display, food trucks, DJs, you name it. The entertainment is sorted for Unite Round. In the women's, there's obviously the standout fixture. They're all great games, but the grand final rematch from last year, Sydney FC against Melbourne City. Yep. Of course, they finished 1v2. Melbourne City pipped them to the Premier's Plate on the final day of the season after Sydney FC got that terrible loss by their own standards against a Melbourne Victory. If you're looking at the men's, the Isuzu A-League out of Allianz Stadium, I mean, where to start with the games here? Yeah. Not only is there a derby between the Mariners and the Jets, but a Sydney derby as well. Yeah, all huge games on everyone's bucket list. When the draw comes out in pre-season, these are the games that you have your eye on when it is, and to have them all on the same weekend in the same city just gives the fans a fantastic opportunity to experience all of them, and not only necessarily at the game, but in and around the game, the pubs, and the family atmosphere that I'm sure that will be happening in Sydney. So it's very exciting. If you haven't done already, head to aleagues.com.au to get your tickets for Unite Round. Reserve your spot there. Take in as much football as you possibly can. The 22nd to the 24th of November, it is Unite Round.
Big thanks to former Socceroo Tommy Orr and also James Dodd there. Unite Round is coming. And Ish, this season, as we, for those of you who've joined us during halftime, it is Western United against the Wellington Phoenix 4-1. A couple of the subs have been sent out to warm up, so maybe this is indicative of a triple substitution on the way from Paul Temple. But before we get to that, Unite Round, all the Ninja A-League will be... In fact, let's look at the goals. Why not? Let's go to the goals. Ish Ferguson, it is 4-1. Now, this is a Sasha Grove own goal to get things started. And then Western United was spurred into action.
That's right, Wynnum, the Knicks were having a lot of joy down that left-hand side. There was plenty of space. Alyssa Wynnum, I've been impressed with her. She's been really busy in this first half, very industrious, causing the own goal. Lovely ball across the 6-yard box, really difficult to defend. Then straight off kickoff, Grace Smart, lovely left foot. The Wellington Phoenix just switched off. Valau potentially could have held on to that, not too sure. Knocked it straight back into Chloe Lagazzo's path, and she tucks it away.
So Chloe Lagazzo off the mark, as she would have been hoping to do, on a 4-game scoring streak now in this competition. And the marking here, absentee defending from Wellington, allowing Carly Johnson to pick out Amy Medwin. Medwin, who thought she'd scored her first goal last season. It was quite similar to a goal we're about to see, where it was on the line and Avani Prakash ended up getting credited with it. No doubt over who scored that one, though. Carly Johnson making it 3-1.
Yeah, a couple of defensive lapse of concentration, not picking players up in the 18-yard box, just getting in behind them, not marking the players, marking the space instead. And Western United, to their credit, for not having as much possession, with the possession that they've had, they've been really clinical. I think mistake there from Valau and Jaber, a little mix-up. Valau maybe waiting for that ball to come into her arms rather than putting her arms up and getting over Jaber to collect it. And Western United 4-1 up.
So I reckon a triple subs are going to be made here at halftime. It will be fascinating to see who comes off. But just recapping on Unite Round, as I was saying before we jumped into the goals, all 6 games at Leichhardt Oval. If you were a fan of the Ninja A-League, it doesn't matter whether you're from a town with a team, or you're watching from any corner of Australia, New Zealand, wherever, just one venue, double headers 3 days in a row. How good is that?
I think it's a great opportunity to get fans who may not be as familiar with the Ninja A-League women to get along and actually see and see the quality on show. We've got former Matildas in the Tamiki Alps for the Brisbane Roar available on show at the one venue. So really encourage everyone to get down, and it's just a really good day out, isn't it? I mean, it's wall-to-wall football. What's not to love? And it's one of the most spectator-friendly grounds. We saw Sydney FC getting fantastic crowds at Leichhardt Oval last year. I went to 2 days of Unite Round last season. It was
quite an experience watching Wellington play the Central Coast and then Brisbane play Newcastle, just back to back, all at the one venue. Really good fun. It's a great viewing ground, and really get it in your calendar and make your plans to get along to Unite Round this season. Now, these three players warming up here. Zoe McMeekin, dual national actually. She has an Australian passport. She's born in Melbourne, but very much a New Zealand youth international on the pitch. Daisy Brazendale there as well. Still only a youngster at 18 years old. She's come back from the Under-20 Women's World Cup. And the number 21 here is Lara Wall, signed after a trial with Canterbury United in the New Zealand National League. And she's a bit more mature, 24 years of age. Is a wide player, can play left or right wing back. So it'll be interesting to see exactly who these three players are coming on for. The teams are out of the tunnel. Western United will be feeling absolutely chuffed. There is Lara Wall about to make her Ninja A-League debut. It's always a fantastic moment when a player who's persisted is able to get there at 24 years of age and break through for a debut.
That's right, and it does. It takes resilience, it takes persistence, it takes that bounce-back ability of maybe when you're not getting the opportunities that you think you deserve. But great to see Lara Wall making her debut.
You wouldn't touch the 11 for Western United, not with the momentum they finished the first half with.
Well, I still think there's things that they need to tidy up. They were still getting exploited down in those wide areas, and whether Kat Smith now wants to go a bit more conservative and play four at the back. It was very much, three at times, and then with Sasha Grove almost as an inverted fullback. But they were getting themselves into a bit of strife in that first part of the half. But then as soon as Western United came back and scored that equaliser, I mean, they just had the momentum going, didn't they? But there's plenty of things they can tidy up.
So a triple substitution: Tiana Jaber, Mackenzie Barry, and Mbaye Tanaka, if Molly Godsell's fourth officials board was correct. And so it looks as though at the start of the second half, it's Lake McCutcheon and now Lara Wall, the debutante. But Kiwi international, Mackenzie Barry, who scored in the Olympics, appears to have been subbed off at half-time. So Paul Temple has decided that after conceding 4 goals in the first 45 minutes of the season, no one can be spared.
No. Well, they've got to go all out and out and attack now, don't they? Obviously wanting to tidy up those errors in defence.
So we're back underway. Looks as though Zoe McMeekin and Lara Wall have come in at right and left back respectively in a back four now, with McCutcheon and Lake for the Wellington Phoenix. Of course, they need to chase this game. They led 1-0, only for Western United to run over the top with it must be said, a bit of self-inflicted wounding from Wellington as far as they're passing out from defence and giving away of possession.
They certainly did, Teo, and Villau, when she got that ball played back into her early on, just a minute or so ago, she did go back to that long ball, try and break out of that Western United pressure, break out of that first line of defence.
Ball through the right here. A goal would be the perfect way to start the second half. Here's Mania Elliott. Misses Jai in the middle with the cross. You can see in the corner of your screens there, confirmation of those substitutes at half-time. So the three new faces into the game: Zoe McMeekin, Daisy Brazendale and Lara Wall. Here is Wall now in possession with Wynnum. And the pass to Wynnum. It's a tight triangle they're working in here, but Wynnum and Elliott have got confidence. Jale, a shot bending, but well wide. It's an extraordinary call. 13-cap New Zealand international Mackenzie Barry, considered by many to be the future of the defence of their national team, subbed at halftime. Hopefully it's not an injury.
No, I'm not sure it was, but there were some questionable passes out from the back, straight into midfield, and maybe sometimes it's better off actually just freshening up the players, giving them a break and then resetting for the second half. I mean, first and foremost, they need to make sure that they don't concede any more silly goals.
Well, territory-wise, they're down the right end as far as they are concerned, but Grace Maher appears to have things under control as the ball rolls out. See Annalie Longo, the skipper, is going to be looking to engineer a comeback. Straight away, in possession, Longo with Roach guarding her. Now Main nicks the ball on, really hugging the line, and that's going to be a corner, of which the Phoenix had many in the first half, weren't quite able to make the most of them. See if it's a different story because they're taking it from the opposite side. Maybe more favourable to a left footer than a right footer here. You see that all the Phoenix players are wearing black armbands, some of them quite thick tape. I'll give you the reason why after this corner kick. Here comes the corner now. It's going to drift out for a goal kick. They are a mark of respect for the grandfather of Carolina Villau, who passed away last week, a big figure in bringing her up. So good to see the Phoenix, a mark of respect and support for their new teammate, Carolina Villau. Play back underway, and Western United inviting the pressure on. McMeekin, one of the half-time subs. Stops and props. Now tied up by Grace Maher. No space to put in a cross, but a short pass might work. Longo, Wynnum. Turns and faces, a scoop over the top. Annalie Longo on a tight angle. High degree of difficulty on that shot.
And the Knicks still committing plenty of players forward. They've got 6 in and around that. You know, wanting to put that pressure on Western United, not making it easy for them to play out. Nice little scoop there from Alyssa Wynnum. Longo just couldn't keep that down and get it on target.
Annalie Longo, a marvellous career, 33 years of age. More pressure here, Main. They need a firefighter down in defence at the moment, Western United. It's almost like a mirror image of the first half here.
I was thinking exactly the same thing, Teo, trying to play that short goal kick out, try and play out of the pressure. The Knicks have so many players committed forward there.
McCutcheon. Again, a tight network of passes required. Wynnum showed real appetite to go and win the ball back in the press tonight, Wynnum. And Wellington might be the beneficiaries here. Wall wins a corner.
That was good cover defending from Grove coming over there. Getting some joy, those nice little 1-2s down this left-hand side. Key thing for the player on the left-hand side now is just trying to pick someone out in the box. That's what Western United did so well in that first half.
It's been all Wellington for the first 5 minutes of the second half. Can they find a goal to give them real confidence that a comeback might be on? Longo to the far post it goes. Oh, Lake was crashing in with real venom. And the referee says, too much, a foul.
Yeah, I thought she was going to get onto that then. Had a big run up, lots of momentum.
I think Lake's perhaps right to ask what's wrong with the challenge here. She jumped or...
Oh, no, she didn't have her arms up though, did she?
Yeah.
I mean, she went into it. She had her eyes on the ball. I think that's a tough call on Lake.
Still, Western United do get the free kick. Alyssa Daloste starting ahead of Chloe Lincoln, and who knows, if she has a good second half under pressure here, it might actually become a discussion, even though Chloe Lincoln is back from Matilda's duty. Sitting on the bench tonight, Medwin wiped out by that tackle. Quickly back to Effie.
I'm keen to see how this one eventuates with Dallas Day and Chloe Lincoln. Chloe Lincoln had such a good season with, I mean, she had a lot of work to do with Canberra, didn't they? She conceding a fair plenty of work, and now she's for Western United and doesn't have that #1 position.
Wynnum and Brazendale, a couple of products of the Phoenix Academy. McCutcheon. Wynnum finding space, not the pass on this occasion. Grove had the angles covered. And defending from the front, blocked away by Mania Elliott. Grove's pass, asking a lot of Tahakas and maybe playing it safe. Curling it out. Paul Temple watching on. His team definitely has responded at the start of the second half. They're yet to really test the goalkeeper, Daloste, though. McMeekin. First time ball from Mania Elliott was promising and now gets it on the return from Wynnum. Not quite. Not quite. You can see the signs there, though. The seeds are being planted.
Just that little probing, looking for those little 1-2s. Playing McCutcheon, stepping in as well, stepping forward from that defensive position that she's taken up. Some nice little third player runs there for the Phoenix, and they do. Western United don't look too keen to be pushing too far forward. Obviously, they're 4-1 up. I think taking the conservative approach, keeping maybe a more stable back four rather than that three that they had for a lot of the first half, and just asking the questions of the Knicks. You come and you try and break us down.
We might now see them on the attack here, really, for the first time in this second half. Medwin nearly picking out Carly Johnson. Villau, that bounce, firm surface. Outfoxing DeHakis, though. And the 1-2 with Lagazzo continues out to the wing. Zimmerman just caught behind McMeekin, but did well to go in and win the ball off her. And now Isabel DeHakis. Can't quite slide it through to Lagazzo, and can Wellington counter here? A few players in midfield dragged out of position. Emma Main. Jale, Wynnum. Good tackle by Roach to dispossess Wynnum. Lagazzo down the left, asking a bit too much of Zimmerman.
Wasn't too many options on for Chloe Lagazzo either. She was looking, she kept the ball moving. In the end, almost trying to force one of her teammates to run into that channel.
McCutcheon with a long ball over the top. Route one from the Wellington Phoenix. Jale, can she get there before the keeper? Strong keeping from Daloste. Brave as Jale lunged out.
And I thought Daloste just hesitated a little bit, didn't she? She was like in two minds. Do I come? Do I stay? Decided to come, commit to it. Collected the ball really well.
Double change coming up for Western United. Mel Taranto and Colombian signing Sandra Ibarguen. First look at her straight out of the Colombian League, no less. Kat Smith deciding that perhaps after 10 minutes of Wellington largely on top in the second half, it's time for some fresh legs, and Taranto maybe a surprise non-stop. We've talked a lot about some of the decisions tonight, but Emily Roach getting the start ahead of Mel Taranto is definitely the junior player over a more senior midfielder as well.
Yeah, maybe just a bit more of that mobility around the pitch, maybe that flexibility of formation as well in that first half. Definitely with that three at the back, looking to be a more attacking type formation for Western United.
And indeed it is Emily Roach. It's only Roach's 8th game, already at her 3rd club tonight, so she will have been delighted to be part of 4 team goals. And Amy Medwin, one of the goal scorers, her goal currently the match winner because it put Western United 2-1 in front. She comes off, and it is a Ninja A-League debut for Sandra Ibarguen, the 22-year-old Colombian from Deportivo Pasto. Her only previous experience outside of Colombia was one season at Sporting Cristal in Peru. She's made the big move to Australia. She's currently getting the aid of a translator and trying to learn English. It's a big cultural move, but she could be just about anything leading the line for Western United, and I'm sure she'll be keen. It's a pretty good situation as a striker to come on when your team's already 4-1 up.
That's it, no pressure at all. I mean, Colombia have been they've produced some amazing attacking players, so creative, attack-minded, really want to get people in 1v1 situations and take them on. I think at this point in the game, it'll really suit her. Western United are a bit more conservative. They're sitting back a little bit more. They're allowing Wellington Phoenix to come onto them. So we'll be looking for that quick transition.
That was a very nice first touch from Ibarguen to bring the ball down. And now out to the right, Kiwa Hieda isn't quite going to be able to chase it down. So Emily Roach's Western United debut has gone pretty well. And Amy Medwin, one of the goal scorers, perhaps could have had a double, had that other shot later in the half, which was scooped just wide of the post. So a bit more of an advanced role for a player we've normally seen as a fullback in the past. Right now, though, there is still plenty of time left in the game, and the Wellington Phoenix is still making Western United work. Wynnum. Jale. Read in the air by Lagazzo, but Longo is first at the fall. Brazendale.
Western United just holding their shape, aren't they? No need for them to go up, push up, chasing the ball, staying nice and compact.
Back pass here from Grove. Sliced away by Daloste. 10th appearance tonight for the 23-year-old Alyssa Daloste. After Hilary Beale went back to the NWSL last season, she took over the #1 gloves. Here's Ibarguen. What a pass, incisive, almost. It just held up on the surface. Ibarguen will get another chance. Hieda, Brazendale's done well to stand her ground. Lake caught in possession. But a covering tackle from McMeekin to dispossess Zimmerman. Really nice control from Elliott, and then maybe a little ambitious with the outside of the foot.
Yep, going to have to tidy that up, keep possession. Western United do have that 4 at the back now. Grove hasn't been pushing inside as much. She's actually maintaining her position there, trying to close down that space.
Dark is nearly caught in possession by Jale, but able to get out of a jam. And it was holding on a little bit too long from Brazendale there, bringing down Lagazo.
Yeah, a bit of frustration in there as well. I mean, trying to get the ball. Definite foul, wasn't it? I like the level of aggression. Brazendale's come on, wanting to be on the front foot, win that ball in front. Chloe Lagazo did really well, just getting her body in between Brazendale and the ball, drawing that foul.
So almost to the hour mark. Here's Daisy Brazendale. Johnson's headed down. Lagazo had already slipped. Wynnum stuck in a 1-on-2, nearly able to come away with the ball. The number's 1 out. Taranto. That was Kat Smith's voice. You could hear there shouting, excellent. Happy that her team's trapped the ball down in the attacking half. Will it stay for long? Oh, one last touch from Western United. It's out for a goal kick. Yes, Kat Smith was interim coach for 1 game for Melbourne Victory some years ago. I think it was 2016 when she was in charge for a 1-0 win against the Newcastle Jets, and then had to wait some time, was a Victory assistant coach, and then got the job at Western Sydney Wanderers. Left in fairly acrimonious circumstances just 10 days before the start of last season. And then was able to pick up the Western United job mid-campaign, and now looking to build something new at this young team. McCutcheon. Elliott, good control. Turned away from a couple of defenders. The pass all important though. McMeekin motoring out to the ball. Will she win the foot race? The line 1 out.
Kat Smith being probably more vocal in this half, would you say, Teo, than first half that we heard? Encouraging her players to drop in. I think that defensive structure and shape, there's no need for them to go out-and-out attack in this game. They just need to frustrate Wellington, keep the ball, stay nice and compact, stay connected to each other, and really force Wellington to try and break them down.
Western not pressing with any real aggression at the moment. Happy to stand off. Wait and see what the Wellington Phoenix can do.
That's it, it's so easy to defend, but as long as that ball's in front of you, you just shuffle over, maintain your shape, cut off passes.
And now the chance to counter. Ibarguen immediately caught in possession, but it was a foul. McCutcheon lunging in.
And just another one from Wellington, those balls, you know, the quality, the lack of quality in those balls, giving it away, and then Western United being on the front foot. That quick transition, Ibarguen drawing the foul. But they're the type of things, like Paul Temple, when you go back and you look at the video analysis and you look back at the game, they're the things that, you know, you can control those. You can control the quality of those passes and giving away and making it look so sloppy. And I think that's probably, depending on what happens in the scoreline, he'd be most disappointed about, and the players as well.
Free kick rolled out towards Grace Ma, and Longo did well to keep her balance, but Ma still finds a pass into the box. Taranto shooting from distance, and Villau saw it, batted it down, and then caught on one bounce. Feels as though the momentum that Wellington started the second half with has eased off a bit. They're looking to refine the spark with this long throw. Main has run onto it. Elliott and Wynnum in the middle. Wynnum! Put it straight into the keeper's gloves. What a chance for the Phoenix.
Should have been a goal. Should have been a goal. Alyssa Wynnum will be so disappointed with that. These are like those crunch moments. You fall one down, get an opportunity like that, you have to tuck that away. It's something that she wanted to work on, converting her chances into goals. And she'll be bitterly disappointed that she didn't put that in the back of the net.
Western United on notice. A good chance. One of the best chances of the game, it must be said, given the chaotic nature of some of the goals.
Yeah, and Wynnum, she was running onto that ball, just stood still and leant back a little bit. Didn't get, you know, it was right into the palms of Dallas Day as well. It was an easy, any other side of her. Nice little cut back here. I mean, the ball was bobbling a little bit. Just need to get your knee over the ball. Keep running through that ball and just pass it back almost the way that it was coming. So you hit that back into that near post.
Wellington stay on the attack. Wynnum caught in possession here, though. Surrounded by Western defenders. Zimmerman. Goalkeeper Villau has come roaming out. Hieda. Wants movement ahead of the ball here. Kiwa Hieda decides to opt for Ibarguen over on the left flank. Attempted cross is blocked. Taranto. Still Mel Taranto. See, possession hasn't changed much since half-time. I think it was 64-36 at the break. It's continued largely on the same trajectory through almost 20 minutes of the second half now. Villau, the quick clearance. It's Route 1 football. It's not what we've become used to with Wellington, but perhaps dictated by the scoreline. Alana Cern. Charlie backtracking. Wynnum not quite able to come in and make it a 2-on-1. So Cern kept the ball moving. Taranto hits that a little skinny.
Yeah, I think Wellington are going to have to come up with something a little bit different. I think it's all too easy for Western United to defend at the moment. And they're making it easy. You know, the ball's played in front of them. They're just shuffling across. They're in nice shape. They're staying nice and compact. Wellington, this pace of the ball, the pace of the play, they need to change the tempo and start controlling it a bit more.
Grace Maher ran straight into a challenge. Hieda and Wynnum. It's a battle of spirit out there, and, well, the quality was lacking in the pass. A bit of breathing space now as Western United bring the ball out from the back. Ma, Taranto. Longo still buzzing around, forcing Western United backwards all the way to the keeper. Grove. And had the outlet pass in Lagazzo. Found her now. Lagazzo looking to flip the field. And that just has a little bit of outswing or side spin on it that takes it out for a throw.
Yeah, it did well to play out of the pressure there. I think the Knicks are a bit half-hearted in their pressing, whether they go or stay. Leaves those big gaps down the flanks.
Hieda. Lagazzo, Ibarguen. And a series of deflections. Pass ultimately misses its target.
You just get the feeling something has to happen in the game for Wellington, doesn't it? I think United are far too comfortable here. They need to make it more difficult. Try something different.
Here's a chance now. Ibarguen nicked off her toes, nearly given back. Oh, and ended up getting into a tangle with Rebecca Lake.
I think she hurt her knee there. She went down, or landed awkwardly, held her knee straight away.
Oh, and the reaction says it all.
The reaction was not good, Teo.
Looks serious. And Western United, are they going to put the ball out? They are, and this is distressing. On debut, the Colombian.
Yeah, She went straight down, holding her knee, banging the ground. I hope it's nothing too sinister, but as someone who's had 2 very serious knee injuries, yeah, you can just see her knee buckle there. Just buckle underneath her there. As she turned, tried to plant her foot. That reaction says it all.
So the doctor and the physio are out, and even the opposing goalkeeper, Carolina Villau, can see the seriousness of the situation.
Yeah.
And just minutes into her Ninja A-League debut, Sandra Ibarguen.
Really felt, you saw like that knee kind of lock in, didn't it? Like as she planted her foot.
Western United having made 2 subs in this half. It looked like defender Julia Sardo was being spoken to. So talk us through what the physio is doing now, Ish.
Physio's doing, that's usually the test where you just try and pull it, see if the cruciate ligament's intact. I think he's checking her kneecap as well. I think it was Hannah Keane, wasn't it, who had that, dislocated her kneecap and her patella at the end of last season for Western United. Obviously, as soon as there's any of that change of direction, the first thing that always comes to mind, isn't it, in football, is a cruciate ligament. Hopefully it's not as sinister as that or as serious as that, but from that reaction, you know, it could also be a medial. The medial ligament runs on the inside, down the inside of your knee. Getting a bit of movement back in it.
So the assessment continues here. Western United, other substitutions available. Chloe Lincoln, a goalkeeper, but Avani Prakash and Julia Sardo. You wonder with the scoreline at 4-1, even if these tests are positive, if they might just take Ibarguen off as a precaution.
Yeah, it's great to see her back up on her feet. I think also sometimes as a footballer as well, as soon as you have that change of momentum and when you feel something buckle, you know, your mind can go to the worst case scenario. Great to see her back walking. Bit of a limp there.
So we'll wait and see what's going to happen. That's Molly Godsell. The 4th official's walked all the way around to behind the goal to seemingly usher the staff. And well,
I mean, from her initial reaction, Teo, it's great to see her running again. Like, that is brilliant to see her up on her feet. I've seen so many players when they do go down, it's that reaction. You hit the ground, you know something's wrong, you felt something's wrong. It's your knee hasn't actually, you know, done the right thing. It's gone the wrong way. And you always think the worst, but great to see her up on her feet.
So 20 minutes to go. And the crowd offering support for Sandra Ibarguen as she comes back on.
Be interested to see how Ibarguen just eases into these next few minutes. Still got a bit of a limp.
Now, well, you've got to take it on face value. The doctor and the physio were there. They did the tests. And now Wellington Phoenix, after a break in momentum, almost like a timeout of sorts. All our concern has obviously been with the injured player, but Wellington have had a couple of minutes there to use that break for themselves, perhaps to reassess how they approach the last 20 minutes of this game. And now the backtracking Lake goes to ground. McCutcheon's there, and McCutcheon, well, whether that was a clearance or a pass, it ended up finding Rebecca Lake.
Still not looking overly comfortable, is she, Ibarguen? Be interested to see these next few minutes. I guess as a player, you know, you want to come back on. If you get the all clear from the doctor, you feel fine. Maybe that initial worry. Yeah, so that shock, thinking that something, and you know, it definitely did. We saw her plant her foot. It looked a little bit awkward, bit of twisting motion as well. And like I said, you know, from a reaction of a player for me, I always think, oh no. I always think the worst. You know, I've been there myself. I've seen it numerous times. But great to see her back on her feet. Maybe, if not a little bit ginger, limping around. But also, they're 4-1 up. Would you take the risk? Maybe Kat Smith will have a look, give her a few more minutes, see how she goes.
Paul Temple now having a word to the 4th official himself about the amount of time Western United are taking. Brazendale. Hieda. Strength from Zimmerman. Able to lose an opponent. Swings the ball into a dangerous area. And it's behind for a corner kick. That's Liv Ingham getting ready to come on. She made her debut in March, coming back from an ACL. Has only made that one appearance in the league, so she'll be keen for a full season here, the 18-year-old. But right now, her team's got to defend a corner, and the last thing that the young sub would want is to be greeted by another Western United goal, so they've got to make a defensive stand right here. The home fans, they want a fifth. Been full of voice tonight, the soundtrack of this game. Here comes the corner. Lugazzo with a big pack of players to aim for. In at the near post and dealt with by Jale. Lugazzo will get another chance though. Drops the shoulder, able to buy some space. And it slides across the face and hit the back of Carly Johnson, if anything. And that could have been a point-blank header for her second of the game.
Was that an offside call, was it, when Lugazzo put that ball back in?
And so Wellington will now make this change. Liv Ingham comes off and on, and Mania Elliott comes off. So Ingham, just her second A-League Women's appearance, but let's take a look at this replay. It hits the back of Carly Johnson.
I think Villau just got a little touch, just took a little deflection. I mean, they called it offside anyway.
Just with the...
but it did look like she should have just nodded that in, didn't it?
With the exit of Mania Elliott, I mean, on a different day, she might have left with a goal or two, really. Plenty of promising signs, but just didn't have the finishing touch.
Yeah.
Maybe a new face and new ideas will help Wellington grab one of these goals back. Main's cross. Ingham, the new sub, making an impact on Tahakis. Longo. And Wall. "15 minutes of regulation to go. No change to the halftime score. Western United with a 3-goal buffer.
Yep, United came out just to consolidate those goals from the first half. You know, they've stayed nice and compact defensively, really making Wellington Phoenix work for it. Wellington Phoenix at the moment need to change something up. It's like they're running out of ideas. The tempo of the game, it's slowed down so much from what was such a frantic first half.
Grove's clearance. Not quite able to bend along the line. Out it goes. Cern finds Taranto. Daloste, ball just bobbling between the feet initially, but got the pass, and Western United haven't played their way out of trouble because it's been given away. Wynnum saw McMeekin running from deep at right back, and Zoe McMeekin is yet to open her A-League women's account. 37 games now, yet to score her first goal.
Yeah, I think decision-making there from McMeekin, probably a better option. Try and get that ball into the box. There's 3 of her teammates in there. It was a difficult angle.
Long ball down the left side. Lugazzo taking possession. Main. Longo. Grove wants to turn onto the right side here. Sasha Grove. And, well, nearly had Carly Johnson away. Of course, those two were teammates at the Young Matildas Under-20 World Cup campaign. Lake's long ball, and it's just going to hit the turf and skid on away from the runners. Game that started in bright sunshine is now completely under lights. This ground, Iron Park Stadium, Western United's new home. And once word about this scoreline gets out, I think many of the suspicions in pre-season that this team is a contender might get around that they've got a pretty handy outfit. That is, of course, assuming they take care of business in the remaining 12 minutes of this game.
I think one of the really positive things, Teo, was that they didn't have much possession. And yet with their opportunities, they actually put those goals away against the run of play.
Wall's cross, a teasing one. Jale went to ground, ball sits up. Dahak is first to respond. Gets there before Wynnum. Ibakwen running and lunging for the ball, seemingly back to full speed.
Fantastic to see. I feel like Western United really continued that attitude and application from last season as well, when they were, again, maybe didn't have all the possession and they just hung in games, didn't they? They just ground out results, made things happen.
Hieda, attempted long ball, intercepted by McCutcheon, and then finds Wynnum with the pass. Wynnum looking for an option to advance the ball. Longo is it. Now Longo's turn. Western United back in numbers. McMeekin. Longo. Just darting around, trying to find an opening. McMeekin now. The cross is going to tumble into the box. Western United had all the numbers at the fall. Grace Marr gets it away. Meekin is making space out on the right, and now the underlapping run from Jale, and the cutback. Can't find a teammate initially, but it beat a couple of Western United players. Maybe a miscommunication. Wall. Ingham trying to roll her marker. Ingham gets back to the ball and is shut down by Grove. Grove showed a lot of the ball to Wall. Penalty. And this might just be, as we tick into the final 10 minutes, hope for the Wellington Phoenix.
Well, they put the pressure on there. United just not able to clear their lines. Sasha Grove with a lunging tackle, diving in. Wall did really well, just needed to get a touch on the ball. Wanted to draw that foul from Grove as well. See here, Sasha Grove just not clearing the ball, still trying to run it out. I mean, Wall did very well to entice that, but needs better decision-making from Sasha Grove.
Look at the byplay here. Alyssa Daloste, as soon as the penalty was given, went out to the penalty spot and just tried to take ownership of the space.
We see it all the time, don't we? The goalkeeper's really trying to step on, try and get into the mind of the penalty taker, try and disturb them, do anything it takes. Even the other players around, you know, just standing around, trying to disrupt their concentration and their focus.
This is truly extraordinary. Western United almost have like a team-wide effort to stop them even placing the ball on the penalty spot.
That's it. Anything you can try to put that penalty taker off.
And so how much of this will affect Emma Main, who is the penalty taker here? Alyssa Daloste in goal. This is Wellington Phoenix's hope, maybe, to come back and get something tonight. We haven't had a change to the score since half-time. Will the byplay be worth it? So the moment of truth. It's Emma Main from the penalty spot, and she's good off the underside of the bar. It's 4-2, and Wellington Phoenix have a ray of hope.
Yeah, tucked away, just skidded off the underside of the bar. Daloste picked the right way, and just trying to slow the play down as well, grabbing the ball from the back of the net. Try and eat up a few more minutes. Sasha Grove just trying to dribble that ball out. Ran right into Wall. Referee had an easy decision to make. She was in a great position to see the challenge. And well, didn't she dispatch with that well? And we saw how quickly the momentum changed after Wellington scored their first goal in the first half, and how quickly Western United responded to it. And then will this change the momentum for them now?
6th career goal for Emma Main in just 21 games. And Western United are going to respond by subbing off a winger in Carly Johnson for nominally a right back in Julia Sardo here. So they respond to conceding their second goal of the night by bringing on 29-year-old Sardo for her 35th career appearance. Carly Johnson leaves having had a goal and an assist.
Yeah, Sasha Groves just pushed up in front in a more advanced position. Just really trying to secure that defensive block for Western United.
So, do the Phoenix have the momentum behind them now to make a go of a late comeback here? Foul, and the referee's reaching for the pocket. First booking of the game, and that's Lagazzo, who was on the end of a solid tackle.
Yeah, that looks sore. Whether she actually caught her or whether it's her standing foot and roll your ankle. I feel like I keep having flashbacks to injuries, so ankles and knees. Looks studs up. Wasn't a pretty challenge.
Oh.
Yeah, just raked the studs right across that outside of the ankle.
Liv Ingham there with the tackle, and that, I mean, the referee's blindsided to that angle, so perhaps the replay makes it look a bit more serious than what Georgia Ghirardello would have seen.
I mean, it wasn't great, but yeah, exactly. Chloe was on that side, so the referee, their line of sight was a bit muddled in there. Hopefully Chloe's okay. She did have struggle with a few injuries at the back end of last season. She's such an integral part of this Western United team as well. Leader, such an experienced player, has played all over the world.
And again, the Phoenix are seeing an opportunity to run down to the sideline here. There is the player that picked up the yellow card, Olivia Ingham. She's in to apologise, but gee, Lagazzo seems quite distressed by the treatment and the injury here.
Well, I mean, studs down the ankle is quite painful, but also there's no need, there's no need to rush and get back up. It's the last 5 minutes of the game. Take your time, get the assessment from the physio and the doctor. Both teams regrouping, having a little chat. Western United, right, how are we just going to contain and see this game out? What's our game management plan? And on the flip side, for Paul Temple and the Knicks, how are we going to make this difficult? We need another goal quickly.
You suspect there will be quite a bit of stoppage time because we had the assessment for Ibaguen earlier in the half, and for Lagazzo now. Lots of chat in that Phoenix little powwow at the sideline, though.
I mean, they're still getting into those areas down the right and left-hand side where they are getting in behind. Maybe just sometimes the quality of those cutbacks and balls into the box has let them down a little bit.
Here's a look at some of the work Chloe Lagazzo got through tonight. It's one of those players that just when you need someone, she's there.
And she loves picking that ball up, doing the dirty work in midfield, facing forward. She did well here with that second little half volley as well. Just stayed nice and composed, passed it into the net.
And that was Western United's equaliser back in the first half. She's on the sideline now. Treatment continues. Western United have the free kick. And so quite a few minutes ticked off the clock there. Mel Taranto to take the restart. And it's a very promising ball that just flicks past Zimmerman, and now Villau tries to launch a counter-attack. McCutcheon's going to have a quarter of the pitch to break into here. Sends the ball looking for the most recent goal scorer in Maine. Ma, not quite able to usher it towards the byline, had to take possession, but had support in the form of Taranto. Winham is trying to press from the front and win the ball back, but Taranto does well, finds Ma. Brazendale. Now Zimmerman. Sending it out to the left channel. Ibaguen off and running, and shoulder to shoulder with McCutcheon.
Yep, just trying to turn the Knicks around, play it into those little pockets of space, get them facing towards their own goal, wasted a bit more time.
Here comes Lagazzo back onto the pitch, treatment administered, and that is a relief. She's moving well, doesn't have to leave the game. Three minutes of regulation to go. Stay disciplined. That's the shout from Cat Smith, the unmissable shout.
And they have stayed disciplined in the second half. I think they've been far more connected. They've been closer together. I mean, defensively, their structure has been good. They've stayed nice and compact in that block, made it difficult for the Phoenix to really play through them.
Brazendale, Winham, neat 1-2. You can tell those two have such a good combination with each other. Brazendale, it takes a deflection. And out for a corner. Well defended by Grace Maher to stop the cross even getting into the area.
I want to make it interesting if they sneak a goal back here. Last 3 or 4 minutes of regular time, and then whatever's added on for injuries and substitutions.
Time very much their enemy, but they have a great chance here, and understandably have committed quite a few numbers forward under Annalie Longo's corner kick. Longo's just going to drop it right in the pack of players. Lake was up, but didn't get purchase on the header.
Yeah, there's 3 Knicks players there, won the ball, just didn't get a clean contact. Dallas State took that quite calmly and easily.
Ibaguen, a lone hand against the Phoenix defence, and felt contact, not able to convince the referee of a foul. Longo overhit the pass, and Western United now, every time the ball goes dead, they'll try to slow things down. Here's another look at the corner.
Yeah, just from a standing start, got the connection on it, but obviously hard, kind of going back and away, then trying to get some momentum on it. It was easy in the end for Dallas State to collect.
Brazendale and Longo. McCutcheon. Lara Wall. Takes on Grove again, and this time Grove is able to outpoint her. Throw by Wall up to the edge of the box. Longo doubling back. Jale, Wall. Well, they need some urgency now, the Phoenix. They're about to learn how many minutes of stoppage they'll have remaining in this game. Brazendale sends it sideways. Lake. Now McMeekin. Lake, back out to McMeekin again. Lifts in the cross, it's going to land on the roof of the net. And as we tick into additional time at the end of this opening game of the Ninja A-League season.
They've just needed a bit more quality on that right-hand side from McMeekin. Interesting, in the first half, we saw a lot of play from the Wellington Phoenix down the left-hand side, and now most of their play, all the crosses are coming in down this right-hand side.
6 additional minutes is the verdict. So time enough for Wellington if they score quickly to set up a big finish. Western United have, for the most part, had the answers in this second half. And a mid-range free kick here. No time to waste. Annalie Longo steps out the run-up. Here comes Longo's free kick. It's going to land at the penalty spot. First head Western, and then standing off balance there, Brazendale's volley, high and wide. Now this is a great moment. This morning, Avani Prakash was doing her final Year 12 exam. Now she gets to play in the Ninja A-League. So end of one era in her life, and what Avani Prakash will be hoping is now progress towards a professional football career.
Yeah, I mean, Avani Prakash, one of our young stars of the A-League, made her debut as a youngster, still working her way into the A-League. Very technical player, loves creating.
Catherine Zimmerman has a goal to her name. Always a good feeling as a striker to score in the opening match of the season. And on comes 17-year-old Prakash for her 15th appearance, the first player to score a Ninja A-League goal at this venue. Her one and only goal so far in her fledgling career. 2 of 6 minutes have expired. And Western United with Sato advancing forward. Grove now deployed in a more attacking role, can't keep possession. Wall, McCutcheon, it's the non-preferred foot, you'd have to say. It's been headed into the centre of the pitch. Ibaguen looking to dart onto the ball, but can't quite get there. Booted away by Villau, no time to waste. It's going to bounce on the surface and potentially be awkward. That's a miss-hit clearance. It's gone backwards for Cern, but read it well in the air. Now Ma against Wynnum. McMeekin legged. Play continues. Wynnum. Kieta's done well to win possession back, and now Prakash with her first touch of the game. Ball breaks into the midfield. Just booted on by Taranto. A string of passes move Wellington down the right flank. Main puts it into the path of Wynnum. Now Longo from a tight angle. Longo, the cutback. Off to Harkers. It sits up, and Luxor fortunate just deflects into the gloves of Dalloster.
I mean, again, some good play down that right-hand side. It's just that end product that's, you know, letting the Knicks down. Those cutbacks into, you know, not a good contact, playing it back in, not picking out players. I mean, they're getting into dangerous areas.
Well,
just that lack of quality. Sorry, Taylor. No. That lack of quality at the end for that final pass.
Ibarguen, Legarzo, the two players in this half that received treatment, back up and running. Now Avani Prakash looks up at Zoe McMeekin. I was going to say that Wellington, far from the finished article, of course, no Olivia Ferguson, their striker in this game. There's also word that they're adding one more visa player. A defender will be joining the club. So a couple of key pillars, two of your visa players aren't out there. But still might have a sting in the tail. Lara Wall into the box, gets the cross in. Ingham catches a deflection. And it really is a credit to Western United that they've faced so many corners in this game and have defended them all reasonably well. Eighth corner of the game coming up here for Wellington Phoenix. And it's headed off the post, a touch. Well, it was apprehensive from McCutcheon. It wasn't really a full-blooded strike on goal, really more just a reactive lunge at the ball, and it goes out for a corner on the other side.
I think it was that Julia Sardo who just saw Avani Prakash. Looks like they were going to toe poke it in, just near that near post. Bit of confusion in there.
Well, if they score now, they might not even have time to kick off. And the ball is repelled away, and the two-goal buffer remains intact. So Western United now just 30 seconds away from 3 big points on the opening night of the season, and they can sit back like the rest of us and enjoy the other 5 games of the weekend. Final throws of this one. Villau run into a nest of Western players. Second ball is a contest though. De Harkis. Taranto. Grove. We heard the Western United sideline wanted her to go to the corner. Legarzo once more. Prakash in an acre of space, trying to chase down her first touch. And goalkeeper and defender combine to foil the 17-year-old, the 5th and final goal.
Definitely thought she was in there. Just that first touch got away from her. Wonderful vision from Chloe Legarzo. Just took her eye off the ball. Villau did well coming out, closing down the angle, getting to the ball.
Still needed some saving. Sato, all Wellington behind the ball. We've gone beyond the 6 additional minutes. McMeekin to Main. Maybe one final foray for the Phoenix. Goal difference decided who made the top 6 last season, so you play to the end every week of the season. And the full-time whistle goes. It's an opening night win for Western United. A game in which they trailed only to unleash a 4-goal flurry in the first half. And it's relief and congratulations at Ironbark Fields as they make a winning start to the Ninja A-League season. There will be plenty more to the story, particularly around concern for a knee injury for Sandra Ibarguen. Hopefully, the scans come back with good news. amazingly went on to play out the game. But Wellington Phoenix, they'll go back to the drawing board. Plenty to think about with some of the goals that they conceded. So full time at Ironbark Fields, Western United 4, Wellington Phoenix 2. So, Ish Ferguson, let's get into the highlights. This game had it all in the first half, and then Western United able to manage their way to the finish line in the second.
That's right. The Knicks came out and played really attacking football. Were breaking out of the pressure, playing longer balls. Came up, Sasha Grove with her own goal. Lovely little ball across the 6-yard box by Wynnum. I was impressed by Alyssa Wynnum today. I thought she had a good game for the Wellington Phoenix, forcing that in there. And they had all the possession. They were on top of Western United, but pretty much from kickoff. Grace Mark, great left foot, has picked out Chloe Lagazzo. She's tried to go maybe to the far post. Valau's just patted it back down, and she's got that composure of an experienced international footballer to just pass that one into the back of the net.
So, having a